from breach detection to regulatory notification. This session establishes the shift in cybersecurity from traditional threat detection towards governance led regulatory accountability. In the modern digital ecosystem, organizations are not evaluated only on whether they can prevent cyber incidents, but on how effectively they identify, assess, document, and report incidents in alignment with regulatory obligations. Increasing cyber incidents, especially across BFSI and digital platforms, have resulted in stronger regulatory expectations. Frameworks such as DPDP, RBI cybersecurity frameworks, and SEBI cyber resilience mandates require organizations to demonstrate structured breach handling process. SRC-AttackGuard has been designed to bridge the gap between technical security operations and governance-driven compliance outcomes that we'll be taking up in the subsequent slides. It is, conducting the isolated detection tools, the platform integrates threat intelligence, external exposure monitoring, breach classification, and compliance walkthroughs into a single life cycle. The objective is to help organizations transition from reactive incident response towards structured regulatory readiness, where every detected event can be translated into governance level accountability and defensible compliance evidence. Let's have a quick overview about Cyber SRC. We are certain an STQCM paneled cybersecurity and compliance organization focused on enabling enterprises to manage cyber risk, regulatory obligations, and governance maturity across industries. We operate across cybersecurity consulting, audit and insurance, compliance transformation, privacy governance, and risk advisory domains. We combine deep technical expertise with regulatory understanding, ensuring organizations do not treat compliance as documentation alone, but as an operational capability. Our mission is to simplify cyber and information risk management globally by aligning business objectives with security governance. With certified professionals holding industry recognized certifications and experience across BFSI, manufacturing, healthcare, NBFCs, and enterprise environments, we enable end-to-end program design, implementation, and operational transformation. Our focus is not only achieving certifications or regulatory compliance, but on building sustainable and scalable governance models that withstand audits, regulatory scrutiny, and evolving cyber threats. Coming to the agenda, let's talk about breach notification as governance obligation. So we know like cyber incidents today have legal, financial, and reputational implications. Regulatory expectations have shifted from preventive controls to demonstrable accountability. Under DPDPA, also organizations must establish mechanisms to identify personal data breaches, assess potential harm to individuals, notify regulators in prescribed timelines, inform affected data principals, and maintain evidence for audits. Similarly, RBI and SEBI require institutions to ensure incident reporting, governance oversight, forensic readiness, and board level visibility. Leadership teams must now demonstrate that they understand incident impact, decision making timelines, and regulatory implications. The organization must implement structured workflows, escalation mechanisms, and documentation practices that actually provides the traceability and accountability across the incident lifecycle. So, considering the regulatory landscape around DPDP, RBI, and SEBI, organizations today operate within overlapping regulatory environments. When an incident occurs, it must be assessed simultaneously under multiple compliance frameworks. Under DPDP, organizations evaluate where the personal data exposure occur, assess the likelihood of the harm, notify the Data Protection Board, inform impacted individuals, and maintain the audit records. Considering the RBI and SEBI also, material cyber incidents to be reported within defined timelines, along with the root cause analysis, impact assessment, and monitoring evidences. So the challenge is translating technical alerts into regulatory reporting triggers. Here comes SRC AttackGuard that automates this mapping by linking incident data with regulatory obligations, ensuring that organizations meet compliance expectations without manual interpretation and delays. Now let's talk about where actually the organizations are struggling. Despite events in SOC, SIM, and monitoring platforms, organizations face operational challenges. Security tools generates alert but lack regulatory context. Compliance teams must manually interpret incidents, causing delays and inconsistencies. And documentation is often prepared after incidents and increasing the audit risk. So here the organizations are struggling with breach classification, regulatory timeline tracking, governance reporting, and evidence management. Leadership visibility is also limited because technical outputs are not translated into business risk language. This gap between detection and governance creates compliance, exposure, penalties, and reputational risks. SRC AttackGuard addresses this disconnect by integrating intelligence and compliance workflows. Before we talk about SRC AttackGuard more, let's talk first about what would be our approach and methodology in adopting this life cycle driven methodology, combining the continuous monitoring, intelligence enrichment, vulnerability validation, compliance mapping, and governance reporting. So this methodology actually ensures incidents progress through structure stages like discovery and detection, validation, impact assessment, classification. It should be notification ready and appropriate actions and reporting should be done. Each stage generates audit ready evidence, ensuring organizations are prepared for the regulator inquiries and internal governance reviews. So, our approach ensures that compliance is not reactive but embedded within operational security processes, enabling seamless alignment between security teams and compliance stakeholders. Now, when we talk about the intelligence-driven breach lifecycle, I'll hand over to Asta. She will demonstrate the integrated lifecycle that we enabled with SRC AttackGuard. Over to you, Asta.
Thank you, Suhasini ma'am, for introducing me. Now, I'll take this session forward and will explain how SRC AttackGuard supports organization in complying with the DPDP regulations. So, firstly, what is SRC AttackGuard? SRC AttackGuard is an attack surface monitoring platform which has a dedicated dark web monitoring engine, which monitors the dark web for breach credentials such as passwords, emails, etc. SRC AttackGuard gives fully fledged lifecycle mapping in 5 steps, which as follows. First one is detect. So in this case, it focuses on the visibility by continuously monitoring the organization's external attack surface, internet-facing assets, and even dark web exposure. The goal here is simple: identify risk before attackers do. Second, validate and incident management. Once something is detected, it validates by checking indicators of compromise, analyze vulnerabilities, and assess the actual risk based on exposure and likelihood. Third comes notify. If personal data or sensitive assets are involved, it structure the impact assessment and prepare proper documentation. This ensures the organization is ready for compliance-driven notification, such as DPDP requirements. Next comes action part, which is remediation. as it provides prioritized recommendation based on real threat exposure. This includes patch guidance, vulnerability mitigation, and even takedown support for phishing site or fake applications. Now, the final part is reporting, as it includes documentation of everything. It provides audit-ready reports, activity logs, preserved evidence, and executive dashboard. So leadership has complete visibilities. So these are the core capabilities. But the thing is, what does this mean for the organizations? So here are some business impact of SRC Attack Guard, which includes proactive risk reduction. Instead of reacting to incidents, it identify and reduce exposure before it becomes a breach. It also provides faster incident response with validated intelligence and IOC correlation. It also ensures regulatory readiness by continuous monitoring and structured documentation helps organization to meet compliance and breach notification requirements. Early detection of phishing and impersonation protects customer trust and prevent financial loss, which ultimately provide organization brand and reputation protection. So now the real question is, how does SRC AttackGuard actually help us to stay compliant with DPDP directions? Let's understand this with a simple scenario. Suppose there is an ABC organization and one day it is discovered that employees' data such as names, email IDs, phone numbers, etc. has been exposed. This exposure could have happened due to compromised credentials or a vulnerable internet-facing system. So here, what SRC AttackGuard do is, as soon as it identifies breached credentials, it collects that information and send an alert to the threat analyst. And then the threat analyst logs the incident on the platform and notified the affected user or spoke of the organization about the breach. And post their investigation, they can update the status of the incident on the SRC AttackGuard incident management module. Then a dedicated report is also get generated as well. This report contains an executive summary of the breach, the technical details of the breach, for example, timelines, affected areas, affected users, etc. And investigation remarks along with the closure statement. Evidence from the investigation authority are also included. So now the report is aligned as per DPDP directions, making it a DPDP mapped report which can be further shared with the regulatory organization. Additionally, the platform tracks the life cycle of the breach established as per DPDP Act and notifies the user accordingly, starting from the identification to closure of the investigation. So that how SRC Attack Guards helps you to stay compliant with the DPDP direction. Now, I would like to hand over this session to Suhasini ma'am, who will further continue the webinar.
Thank you, Asta, for the wonderful insight that the SRC Attack Guard is providing with respect to the different regulatory requirements. So, continuing to that, with respect to the regulatory mapping, we have a dashboard that provides real-time governance visibility. It displays incident severity, regulatory applicability, reporting deadlines, and evidence completeness. Leadership gains a unified view of cybersecurity and compliance posture, enabling informed decision making and board level reporting. This reduces dependency on technical interpretation and improves governance transparency. When we talk about business, how business is benefited with this, so organizations achieve measurable outcomes, including reduced regulatory penalties, faster incident response, improved operational efficiency, automated documentation, and enhanced governance confidence. Security investments translate into business risk reduction and compliance assurance. So, future of regulatory cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is evolving towards intelligence-driven governance and continuous monitoring, AI-driven risk evaluation, automated breach classification, and governance dashboards will define future resilience models. That is covered by SRC AttackGuard. And organizations adopting integrated platforms will move from reactive response towards the proactive regulatory assurance. Coming to our team, we comprises certified professionals across cybersecurity, privacy, audit, and governance domains. We have the expertise that enable organizations to design, implement, and operationalize security programs aligned with global standards. We have our esteemed clients highlighted on the screen. And with this session, with this slide, we want to welcome the questions from your end. For those who wanted to understand any working model with respect to SRC attack card, we can definitely cater your questions right now also, or you can contact our solution team. We have the contact numbers that are visible that you might be seeing over the screen, right? And any questions related to the working model, operational working model, we are happy to cater this right now also. Okay, Mr. Sudhir, you're asking us to navigate to previous slide. Which slide? Can you please unmute yourself so that you can ask your question?
The one this previous to business benefits.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, please. Any question around it?
I just wanted to review it. Okay. So
Okay, so any question from anyone, we'll wait for 5 minutes more so that we can cater your questions and we are happy to answer your queries and concerns. So for everyone's information, I would like to add a high-level working model with respect to SRC AttackGuard, where it identifies all internet-facing assets, considering like all the assets in a domain, right? Subdomain APIs, cloud assets, shadow IT also. How it works is automated scanning through automated scanning, right? And it is a continuous threat intelligence monitoring system where it integrates multiple intelligence threat feeds and like IOC databases, right? And different CV correlations are being done by it. And it maps vulnerabilities to real exploitation risk. The output is risk prioritized alerts. And it also monitors the dark web, deep web, right? The credential leaks. So it is working, in a way like it provides the early detection before incident escalation, right? So how it correlates at the code level, like asset exposure, uh, and the vulnerability and the threat intelligence that actually quantifies and the result comes as a real breach risk. And unlike traditional VAPT reports, it actually identifies which vulnerability is actively exploitable. And then definitely, like we have mentioned, we have the breach classification engine that is a key differentiator in this. And we map incidents against different regulations that we have already talked about. So it is a high level workflow. Like once the risk is identified, it triggers the incident workflow escalation metrics and it governs the notification. Or evidences are captured accordingly and the report is prepared. So we as a consultant validate and we guide the response along with the AI responses. So that's it. And definitely we have a governance dashboard where leadership can check over the exposed risk score, exposures, right? Regulatory readiness status, breach classifications, uh, and the entire compliance posture can be seen with the dashboard. And it converts the cybersecurity into a board level visibility. For more information, you can contact our team, solution team. That is, we have displayed the number, or you can reach out us through mail. If no one has any questions, so we can drop off and we can conclude the session. Thank you so much, everyone.